Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Research in Education, with the subtopic Techniques of Research. In the previous classes we have understood about observation and interview thoroughly. Even we have started with projective techniques. We have understood when originally they developed, that is 1960s, why they have developed. It will be help in clinical psychology, in the domain of psychology, with the type of personality test. Why this personality test, which exposes the participant to a series of ambiguous stimuli such as images or words. So these projective techniques reveal the unconscious feelings and expressions here. So we have understood how do projective tests work also with an example, and we have started with types of projective techniques, that is association techniques, construction techniques, completion techniques, choice or ordering techniques, expression techniques. Let's understand in detail one by one. The first one, association techniques. Now association techniques are when a participant is required to give instant responses to the stimuli presented to them. There is great emphasis on the immediacy of responses in association techniques. Association itself tells you that something is associated with and we have to give the reaction immediately. Now the Rorschach test, it is an example of an association technique wherein the subjects respond to a series of ink blot images. In the previous image you have seen, these are the ink blot images. When a paper is open, they will make two fold of it and open it and pour ink in between that line, the two fold in between, and they will press that, and after that they will open, some image will appear. This side and that side both look similar. So ink blot test, blot images. These images contain determinants such as color, shade, form, movement and reflection, which help examiners determine the reasons behind individuals' responses. Their answers are then interpreted and analyzed psychologically. Everybody will think of their own perception. Unique answers you will get from different individuals. Now the next one is the word association technique. It is another kind of association exercise during which the subject is presented with a series of unrelated words. They have to respond to each word with their first thoughts upon hearing them. That means cognitive psychologists also use this word association test to study how semantic information is stored and retrieved by the mind. So words are given, everybody will have their own perception, they will explain in their sentences. Now the second one is construction techniques. Now these go beyond just reacting to stimuli and instead require participants to create something out of them. These creations could be stories or images. Now here in the association technique, they will show the picture and then they will ask immediately what they think of. Here something extra they have to give here. If something is given, one picture is given to them, they have to narrate the story out of that image. The thematic appreciation test, perhaps one of the most popular projective techniques in use, is a type of construction technique. Now the test participants are shown cards that contain black and white images and the subjects are required to construct a story based on what they perceive or infer from the images. You can see the picture, one picture black and white will be given. I can give my own story. One person is running and two persons are behind them. What the story I can narrate will be different to the individuals who are narrating their own perceptions. The storyline and plot are used to make inferences about the deep-seated desires and needs of the examinee. Now the third one, completion techniques. Completion tells you already completing the sentence or completing the word or completing the things. Completion techniques present their subjects with any form of incomplete product and ask that their subjects fill in the blanks in whichever way they please, so long as their responses meet certain standards of rationality. The sentence completion test is the most popularly used completion technique that asks its examinees to complete incomplete sentences using the first words that come to mind. Unlike in the educational systems in the schools or classes, they have the particular words to be filled in the blanks. Not that test here, completion test. They can put their own words in those blanks here. Examiners then conduct a subjective analysis to determine conflicts, attitudes and motivations of the examinee. Now the fourth one, choice or ordering techniques, that is arrangement and selection tests. In this technique, the respondents are asked to choose from a set of alternatives belonging to the same group, that is images, words, etc., or to put a group into order here. For example, the picture arrangement test presents examinees with a series of images that show a figure involved in different activities. Obviously, for children also, what do? They take one picture and cut them in pieces and ask them into arrange them into proper image. So the examinee's task is to arrange these images in order how they believe the sequence of events occur. That is, for small children, cut one picture and give them to make that whole picture. But here what happens? Different pictures are given. According to them, they have to arrange them and make the story out of it. That is here picture arrangement test. Now the fifth one, expression techniques. Expressive techniques require their subjects to use a stimulus as a prompt for self-expression, role-playing, theatrics, dance, etc. Obviously expressive. When somebody is dancing, obviously we will see the face and also the hand movements, leg movements, what they are expressing through their dance. For example, drawing and painting are expressive techniques that are studied qualitatively as indicators of personality traits. Those evaluating the tests pay attention to the figures used in the drawings, their sizes, their positions, etc. Now, the findings of projective techniques are interpreted and evaluated subjectively rather than objectively. Most individual tests tend to have interpretation manuals. Now, let's see what are the advantages of these projective tests. These tests allow people to express their thoughts and ideas without the fear of judgment of social constraints, as is the case with structured testing methods such as questionnaires or formal interviews. Now, when people are able to express themselves more freely by giving responses to ambiguous stimuli, psychologists can study subconscious and unconscious mechanisms which can help them understand problems of a more personal or sensitive nature. Now, let's see the disadvantages of this projective test. Due to the ambiguity of the stimuli and the unstructured nature of this technique, highly qualified professionals and experts are required to administer and determine the results of projective tests. Now, rigorous interviewing and analysis is required to draw conclusions from projective techniques. This, coupled with the need for trained professionals, make it an extremely expensive process. Now, projective techniques also come with the risk of interpretation bias. This means that the people interpreting and analyzing the responses of the examinees could misinterpret the results and perhaps assume that a being response is seemingly hostile. So, drawing inaccurate inferences from projective tests could seriously harm the examinee because it could point towards personality flaws or shortcomings. So, we come to the end with the conclusion here. Given their complex and unstructured nature, projective testing techniques should be used carefully they could prove to be especially useful in conducting exploratory research in order to gain initial insights. They are also important in cases where the use of structured methods will not provide professionals with the required information. So we come to the end of this session. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. I'll come with the new topic in the next class. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.